Welcome everyone. In this video, we are going to take a look at Lessons in Good Trouble from Minecraft Education Edition. And we're going to look at the first part of this world, and that is the Black Lives Matter movement. Now in the last video, we showed you how to set up Lessons in Good Trouble. So let's pick up right from the beginning, which will take us right into the lobby. We're greeted by John Lewis, and he's going to share a message with us. One of the great things about Minecraft Education is anytime you come to a non-playable character, in this case like Congressman John Lewis, it will actually read the text for you if you click this button through the immersive reader. So let's take a look to see what Mr. Lewis will tell us.
Hi. I'm Congressman John Lewis. I devoted my life to achieving equal rights for all. I believed that sometimes getting into good trouble helps build a more equitable world. Click the button to begin, or check out the resources on the wall to see where you can learn more about the people and movements discussed here.
So we're going to get started, and we're going to start right over here with the Black Lives Matter movement. And you'll notice if I make my way down, you have Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr., all the way down here, Gandhi, a few other people here as well. So what will happen in a second is I'm going to start here, and I'm going to join this world. So here's what our speaker has to tell us.
Did you see what's happening on the street below? People are cheering and chanting together to make change. Click the button to join the people below and to learn about the Black Lives Matter movement.
So let's get started and let's learn about the Black Lives Matter movement. So by clicking this button, I'm right here in this one world. You can see it's kind of like a city landscape. I'm going to start by talking to John Lewis.
Today I'd like to teach you about good trouble and introduce you to some leaders through history who have built a better world by being catalysts for good trouble. Head towards the green beacon up ahead to continue.
Okay, so I'm going to head towards the green beacon where there's another John Lewis character. You'll notice that I'm right here in the city environment. Over to the side, you can see different people protesting the Black Lives Matter movement. And you can see right over here, we've got our signs. And I'm greeted by John, so I'm going to take a listen.
I marched with other civil rights leaders, such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., to end racial discrimination in the United States. Over the years, I have watched the civil rights movement continue to grow and evolve.
Okay, so now you'll notice right over here, I can just sort of explore this world, look around, read some of these signs, and get a better idea of what this major civil rights protest was all about. If I go over here, I'm greeted by John Lewis again.
Throughout my life, I've gotten into all kinds of good trouble. I've been arrested dozens of times for doing what I believed was right, from sit-ins to marches to the freedom rides to advocating for human rights.
So again, I'm going to keep going through our city landscape, look for those tall green beacons where I'm going to be seeing an NPC of John Lewis to share a little bit more information with me.
There are people all around the world that have caused good trouble while fighting for human and civil rights. These are people just like you and me who decided to take a stand when they saw that the world was not right, fair, or that justice was not being served. Join me as we travel through time to learn about these leaders.
And again, we'll go all the way to that green beacon where I'm greeted by John Lewis and an activist.
Started by Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi, the Black Lives Matter movement has made a global impact in their mission for freedom, liberation, and justice for Black people. Do you know why these women started the organization?
And then next to John Lewis is an activist who is going to answer that question for me.
The Black Lives Matter movement came about in 2013 to seek justice following the acquittal of the person who killed teenager Trayvon Martin. Since then, millions of people around the world have joined to recognize the need for the civil rights of Black people.
And one of the nice things that you'll notice throughout this world, certain speakers or these certain NPCs at the bottom have links to more information. So maybe not so much for younger students, but for older students, high school students, if they want to get a better idea of what the Black Lives Matter movement is all about, it will link to the Black Lives Matter website. So there is the Black Lives Matter website. It has videos, more information for students to get a better idea of what the whole movement is about. So back to my world, I'm going to keep going through our crowd, through our protesters. Another beacon where we'll see John Lewis.
As a boy, I loved to read, but I wasn't allowed to get a library card because of my skin color. This was so unfair. As a teenager, I was inspired to join the civil rights movement by leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Meeting, and working with him inspired my ideas about nonviolent protest. Later, I would write books about civil and human rights.
So again, there's a link to some of the work of Mr. Lewis, where if students were interested, they could check out some of these books, some of the reviews to his books as well on Goodreads.com. And you'll notice that this glowstone right here will take me to the end, another green beacon, where I'm greeted by John Lewis again.
Let's continue our journey and head off to Pakistan, where I'll introduce you to a leader who became a catalyst for good trouble as a teenager. You can continue walking to the next location, or you can use the button below to fast travel straight there. You can also return to the lobby.
Okay, so at this point, I can either proceed and go to the next section, which is Pakistan, or I can go back to the lobby. So that was only the first movement in this Minecraft Education Edition world of Lessons in Good Trouble. Over the span of the next few videos, I'm going to be showing you all of the different parts as your students will learn about some of the biggest movements for social justice.